Hey guys, it's Megan Aller, a sales executive with First American Title here in Denver, Colorado, here to give you your greater Metro Denver market update for attached residential homes. Now keep in mind that we have had in the last 2 years resolution to our builder defect laws, which has allowed for the development of new construction to finally take place for the first time in probably about 10 years here in Metro Denver. Now what's happened is that that's allowed for some of those residential resale units to hang out on the market a little bit longer. So we've been averaging consistently for the last 6 to 7 months an increase of 25 to 33% more units available for sale in our attached market alone. Anytime you're looking at market data and you see a big increase in those active units, typically it's referring to that attached market specifically because that's where we're seeing the largest growth of new properties here in Metro Denver. Now in July of 2019, we ended up seeing that there were 2,461 active units for sale, which is an increase year over year of 27.1%. Now, what's nice about having that increased inventory is it's allowing us to service some of that unserviced demand by way of seeing our contract count also trail upwards with our active inventory count, which is still keeping our appreciation rate much higher than what we would expect to see on average over the last 50 years or so. So our contract count went up by 13.7%. While it's not trailing up at the same rate as our active count, it's still allowing for some of those unserviced buyers that have been looking for properties for a longer period of time to finally have the opportunity to get into something. That also starts to slow down our rate of appreciation. More on that in just a couple seconds. Days on market were up by 1 day from June to July to 28 average days on contract, so it's about 4 weeks at this point. Days on market will continue to grow through the end of the year. Median days to contract was 13, so just over 2 weeks. That is roughly double what we saw at the same time 1 year ago. So when you see those reports that report, gosh, over 100% more average or median days on market, keep in mind that we went from 6 median days to contract up to 13 median days to contract. Historically, still incredibly quick sales happening in our market, just not as quick as what we had been seeing previously. Closed to list price ratios down month over month, coming in at 99.1%, so buyers are able to enjoy a little bit more negotiating power in the attached market. Heading into the next couple of months, that Goldilocks zone, if you followed along with me last month, we did see that prices declined. Again, these are seasonal traditional declines that we see going into July, August, September, and October. From June to July, we lost 2.5%. Month over month, average sales prices came down to $357,000. Median sales price actually had a little bit of a pop going from June to July. Our median sales price came in at $310,000. Flash sales, or the number of units that went under contract in 7 days or less, dropped below 40%. It was down to 38.8% looking at those numbers for July. Now, the sales that are closing at this point are still strong transactions. We're seeing about 55.3% of those homes sell for at or over their asking price. Now, again, keep in mind that this graph that I'm looking at behind me, it shows my projection in blue dots with the actual lines coming in as we're reporting those numbers out to you on a monthly basis. Dotted lines are projections, solid lines are as those numbers come in. What I want to draw your attention to is we've been consistently up in inventory for the last 6 to 7 months now here in Metro Denver in our attached market. That inventory isn't going away, but it's also not growing at an accelerated rate. So what that means is overall our appreciation rate starts to slow. Again, what's nice about that though is that additional people who had been trying to purchase are now able to have some final choices in the marketplace, and that buyer demand is getting absorbed, okay? Now what happens going into July, August, and September, our supply of inventory grows to its highest rate. That means that buyers have the most choices right now. So if you've been looking to downsize into an attached home, you will have more choices making that search right now than if you try and wait again until next spring. Last thing that we'll talk about, prices end up retracting. Typically, as we go from June to July, we end up seeing that we lose about 1.9% in terms of our average sales price. This year we lost 2.2%, so slightly more than what we expected, but not anything to be overly concerned about. We did have a larger dip back in June by about 2.7%. August and September, we're looking to lose about another 0.5% before our prices calm down heading into October. I hope that you'll choose to stay tuned with us as I report those numbers for you next week. Make sure that you tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for my weekly video blog. Obviously, I hope that if we're able to help help you out and better advise your buyers and sellers that will have the opportunity to meet them at First American's closing tables. If you'd like to get a copy of the slide deck, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, we'll see you soon.